Remember when we were 10 or 12? We wanted to play with G.I. Joes and Barbies. Remember playing outside until the streetlights came on? Remember when lemonade was the summer drink and hopscotch was being played on one corner and kickball was being played on the other? It wasn't that long ago. Somehow little girls are becoming grown-ups at 13 and little boys become men at age 12. Why is this acceptable in this day and age? What happened to the way things were? Somehow, we as a society have decided to accept someone's idea that a 12 or 13-year-old can make major decisions about their life. Not too long ago, children were children. Now, children are considered adults. I have a deep desire to see America get back on the right track. As a former kid, I know the things I wish my parents would have talked to me about. I have sought my parents' advice on what they would have done differently with me. In addition, I will be using information from crosswalk.com, an informational website on Christian living, Have a New Kid by Friday, a book by Dr. Kevin Lehman, the American Academy of Adolescent Psychiatry, and The Hurried Child by Dr. David Elkind. Parents need to instill in their children high standards so that when they are exposed to certain things, they see them as sin and not as something to be accepted. I am going to show you how the entertainment industry is the main cause of children maturing faster than they used to, how parents can protect their children from this, and why this is important to a child's overall well-being. My first point, one of the main causes of children maturing, of the depravity of children, meaning ages 12 to 17, in America is the entertainment industry. According to assortment.com, an informational website, with the recent media hysteria over school shootings and violence and bombings, people have begun to point to violence in movies as the cause of our violent youth. Movies today are filled with violent descriptions, sex, and drug references. The Motion Picture Association of America rates movies according to a grading scale. G movies are absolutely absent of violence, sex, drugs, swearing, and crude comments. They're considered fun for the whole family. PG movies contain light swearing, suggestive comments, light or animated violence, and can also deal with the issues of drugs and alcohol. They contain material unsuitable for little kids, but appropriate for maturing elementary age kids. Viewing movies with sex, violence, drugs, adult themes, and offensive language can have a negative impact on children and adolescents. Many movies are not acceptable for children or teenagers, according to the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. Nowadays, most of the movies that are produced are PG-13. These movies are misunderstood. They contain mild nudity, moderate profanity, moderate sexual situations, references to drugs and alcohol, and moderate to extreme violence. All of those situations contribute to children growing up faster than they should. My second point is, parents can have a huge part in protecting their kids from becoming immune to sinful behavior. Movie ratings have been set up to help parents decide if one movie is okay for the child to watch. If that isn't enough, a brief synopsis and an in-depth description of the amount of violence, sex, drug usage, and so on is available. Parents can and should have active participants in their child's adolescent movie watching experience, says the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. My third point, protecting a child's innocence is important because it will affect their overall well-being and the rest of their life. Nowadays, when you walk through the mall, you see 13-year-olds dressed as hookers and high school boys joining gangs. 12-year-olds have boyfriends and girlfriends. 100 years ago, this would be totally unacceptable. In conclusion, television producers often treat children as grown-up. Owing in part to watching adult shows on TV, even young children seem quite knowledgeable about the major issues of our times, including drugs, violence, crime, divorce, and single parenting. What children are able to do with this information is quite another matter. Television exposes children to experiences they could never have without it. But exposure is one thing, and understanding is another. Making experiences more acceptable does pseudo-sophistication, the effect of television hurrying children. Encourages parents and adults to hurry them even more. But children who sound, behave, and look like adults still feel and act like children, says Dr. Elkind. Parents need to instill in their children high standards so that when push comes to shove, their kids make good decisions. If everyone works together, we can help our children keep their innocence, their childhood, and help them grow up a little at a time when the time is right. Thank you.